I will lead my people by the hand, along the road until their feet are sure and they know the way. Then they will rule themselves. Then my work will be done. Ah, Ataturk, the man who brought Turkey into the modern world. What? What do you mean I'm doing a Thanksgiving video? Oh, fine, give me a second. So, Thanksgiving. Where to start? How about the myth of Squanto, better known as Squanto, the supposedly friendly Indian? Let's start at the beginning of the story. A man named Thomas Hunt, on a mapping expedition, was able to lure 24 Indians onto his boat to kidnap them, and then sell them as slaves. Of course, Squantum was one of those sold to a Spanish man. While in Spain, he converted to Catholicism, found himself transported to England, and took it, where he was employed as a translator. He was sent to a colony near his old tribe to act as a translator, where he promptly ran away and found out they're all dead. Yup, after 10 years of trying to get home, he realized that most of his friends and family were dead. Now that's the Thanksgiving spirit. But his brother and another guy who will be important later were still alive. So he went home to just a different little village within his tribal nation. The pilgrims, we're finally getting to them, jumped in and settled right where Squantum's old friends had died. Also, fun fact, they robbed their graves for food, and that's why they thought they were so holy, because God was just leaving foods in the ground, but that was really an Indian burial tradition. So back on script, Henry. So anyways, where were we? Oh right, yes, they settled where Squantum's old friends had died. A magnificent choice, if I do say so myself. An Indian chief, remember that third guy we talked about, told the colonists that they should talk to Squantum. No, he didn't completely trust Squantum, but he was the only translator they had. So, you kind of go along with it. Squantum soon became a vital member of the Plymouth colony, but with power and being an ambitious man that he was, you have to be to survive being a slave for so long, he decided to use his newfound power and influence to, secure his power and influence. He began trying to play the English and the natives off each other, using their fears of each other to, stoke the flames, so to say. When he decided that a war between them might help him establish himself more as a political figure by essentially saying, I was on your side the entire time, to whoever won, he told the English that the Indians were plotting to attack them. The English, preparing to go to war with the natives, went, but Squantum was discovered by the Indians, who ordered his execution. The English, probably thoroughly confused at this point, agreed to go along with it, but Squantum escaped and headed down where a new colony was being founded. The settlers came from a ship called the Fortune, very ironic, and of course pissed off a different group of locals. Kind of a tradition. So, to avoid execution, and since he had nowhere else to go, he made himself indispensable to this new colony, and then died of plague in 1622. This man's story really did go full circle. And he asked his comrades to pray for him to go to the Christian heaven. Fat chance. Alright, this is the end card. And Squantum, which was not his actual name, but the name he gave when he introduced himself to the English actually means wrath of God. So, interesting choice there. Personally, if I was talking to aliens, I'd tell them to call me God's ballsack. But that's just me. Also, the farming technique he showed the British was actually French. And the reason they hadn't used it was because they were like, fuck the French. They're smelly little bastards. By the way, Grant, I cannot do a British accent. So, here, Grant put in a British accent. But when they saw Indians do it, they're like, that's totally cool. I've never seen that before. I want to do it. So, when you're eating corn, remember, thank the French. And that's it for this video.